Welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. We invite you to join us at 1 Oakleigh Avenue in North Providence, Rhode Island. This podcast is presented to you by The Way Ministries, supported by listeners like you. For donations, live videos, podcasts, and more, please visit www.thewayministriesri.org. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi everybody, welcome to Through the Bible in a Year with Pastor John. So glad you could join me today to get a portion of God's Word. Today we're going to begin with day 144, May 23rd, Job chapters 20 to 21. Zophar and Job, second debate. Overview. Zophar, who specializes in easy answers to difficult questions, now makes his last public appearance. His comments concern the wicked, 20 verse 5, but are aimed straight at Job. The wicked will be cut off. Sin and riches will devour him. Those he oppressed shall see his defeat, and the fury of God's wrath shall strike him down. Then Job interrupts. The wicked do sometimes prosper and enjoy the luxury of their wealth, and they spend their days in prosperity. In fact, evil people are spared calamity and are buried with honor. Job concludes, how can your empty cliches comfort me? All your explanations are lies. 21:34. Chapter 20. Righteous indignation. Verses 1 to 3. Repeated insight. Verses 4 to 29. Zophar's insistence. Chapter 21. Understandable impatience. Verses 1 to 6. Undeniable injustice. Verses 7 to 13. Job's innocence. Insight. Wounded pride. Job 23. Zophar's pride is offended. Chapter 20 verse 3. At Job's previous comment. Chapter 19 verses 28 to 29. According to Paul, love is patient, kind, joyful, over truth, always enduring, hopeful, and faithful. It is not jealous, boastful, proud, rude, demanding, irritable, or glad about injustice. 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. How well do Zophar and his friends exhibit the characteristics of love? Job chapter 20. Zophar's second response to Job. Then Zophar, the Nemathite, replied, I must reply because I am greatly disturbed. I have had to endure your insults, but now my spirit prompts me to reply. Don't you realize that from the beginning of time, ever since people were first placed on the earth, the triumph of the wicked has been short-lived, and the joy of the godless has been only temporary? Though the pride of the godless reaches to the heavens, and their heads touch the clouds, yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. Those who knew them will ask, where are they? They will fade like a dream and not be found. They will vanish like a vision in the night. Those who once saw them will see them no more. Their families will never see them again. Their children will beg from the poor, for they must give back their stolen riches. Though they are young, their bones will lie in dust. They enjoyed the sweet taste of wickedness, letting it melt under their tongue. They savored it, holding it long in their mouths. But suddenly the food in their bellies turned sour, the poisonous venom in their stomach. They will vomit the wealth they swallowed. God won't let them keep it down. They will suck the poison of cobras. The viper will kill them. They will never again enjoy streams of olive oil or rivers of milk and honey. They will give back everything they worked for. Their wealth will bring them no joy, for they oppressed the poor and left them destitute. They foreclosed on their homes. They were always greedy and never satisfied. Nothing remains of all the things they dreamed about. Nothing is left after they finish gorging themselves. Therefore, their prosperity will not endure. In the midst of plenty, they will run into trouble and be overcome by misery. May God give them a belly full of trouble. May God rain down his anger upon them. When they try to escape an iron weapon, a bronze-tipped arrow will pierce them. The arrow is pulled from their back, and the arrowhead glistens with blood. The terrors of death are upon them. Their treasures will be thrown into the deepest darkness. A wildfire will devour their goods, consuming all they have left. The heavens will reveal their guilt, and the earth will testify against them. A flood will sweep away their house. God's anger will descend on them in torrents. This is the reward that God gives the wicked. It is the inheritance decreed by God. Job chapter 21. Job's seventh speech, a response to Zophar. Then Job spoke again. Listen closely to what I am saying. That's one consolation you can give me. Bear with me and let me speak. After I have spoken, you may resume mocking me. My complaint is with God, not with people. I have good reason to be so impatient. Look at me and be stunned. Put your hand over your mouth in shock. When I think about what I am saying, I shudder. My body trembles. Why do the wicked prosper, growing old and powerful? They live to see their children grow up and settle down, and they enjoy their grandchildren. Their homes are safe from every fear, and God does not punish them. Their bulls never fail to breed. Their cows bear calves and never miscarry. They let their children frisk about like lambs. Their little ones skip and dance. They sing with tambourine and harp. They celebrate to the sound of the flute. They spend their days in prosperity, then go down to the grave in peace. And yet they say to God, "Go away. We want no part of you and your ways." Who is the Almighty, and why should we obey him? What good will it do us to pray? They think their prosperity is of their own doing, but I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. Yet the light of the wicked never seems to be extinguished. Do they ever have trouble? Does God distribute sorrows to them in anger? Are they driven before the wind like straw? Are they carried away by the storm like chaff? Not at all. Well, you say, at least God will punish their children, but I say he should punish the ones who sin, so that they understand his judgment. Let them see their destruction with their own eyes. Let them drink deeply of the anger of the Almighty, for they will not care what happens to their family after they are dead. But who can teach a lesson to God, since he judges even the most powerful? One person dies in prosperity, completely comfortable and secure, the picture of good health, vigorous and fit. Another person dies in bitter poverty, never having tasted the good life. But both are buried in the same dust, both eaten by the same maggots. Look, I know what you're thinking. I know the schemes you plot against me. You will tell me of rich and wicked people whose houses have vanished because of their sins, but ask those who have been around, and they will tell you the truth. Evil people are spared in times of calamity and are allowed to escape disaster. No one criticizes them openly or pays them back for what they have done. When they are carried to the grave, an honor guard keeps watch at their tomb. A great funeral procession goes to the cemetery. Many pay their respects as the body is laid to rest, and the earth gives sweet repose. How can your empty cliches comfort me? All your explanations are lies. My daily walk. How can you explain the seeming inequities in the world today? The wicked generally go unpunished, and the swindler prospers, while the honest man goes bankrupt. Isn't God concerned about such things? If you have pondered thoughts like this, you're not alone. Centuries ago, Job asked the same penetrating question about the prosperity of the wicked. He looked around him and saw distorted business ethics, perverted justice, unpunished criminals, and unjust suffering. Everywhere he looked, there was cause for pessimism until he looked up, and suddenly everything snapped into sharp focus. The God of eternity works out his plan from the perspective of eternity. In the end, all accounts will be settled justly, but for now, God calls upon the righteous to trust him, leave vengeance in his hands, and walk by faith. Pick an unfair situation from daily life and look at it from God's perspective. What do you see? How will you respond? Do not pray that the poor be fed unless you are willing to provide the bread. That is so awesome. That's all for today, my friends. It was great reading along with you. Have a great day and God bless. And I will see you tomorrow. Lord willing. Peace.